Alright, so today we are checking out the Hitec RDX4 Lipo charger. So if you are into the RC hobby, you probably know Hitec as a top-notch servo brand with over 50 years in the business. However, Hitec seems to be flying under the radar in the FPV community, and just not many people realize they do actually make Lipo chargers. So Hitec was kind enough to send over their Hitec RDX4 charger for us to complete this tutorial. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you the basic function of the RDX4. We're basically going to do everything together, and at the end you decide if you wanted to buy this as your main charger. Let's get going. Alright, so before we actually begin the tutorial, let's basically look at the exterior of the charger. So the charger, basically, why is it called RDX4 is because it has the ability to charge 4 Lipos at the same time. So you can see that there's one port A, B, C, and D. So basically 4-port charger. So this is a very good thing if you are if you are the person that absolutely hates parallel charging and wanted to basically charge all the Lipos you can at once. This is probably going to be the best option. So besides the charging ports, let's look at the back. So on the back, there is basically going to be 2 types of inputs. So you get the DC inputs. Basically, you will require a power supply to do this, or you can just basically plug in a Lipo with XT60 plug into it to power it on, use it to discharge your Lipos. That's a good method as well. But since this charger already has a built-in power supply with the AC, so there's no point of using it unless you are wanting to use it on the field to basically bring a bigger Lipo to charge up your smaller Lipos. But most of the time, for this size of the charger, most of us, I will assume that it's best to be used in those indoors. Basically, you're just going to leave it on your bench as a bench charger. So basically, we're just going to be plugging in the AC. So to use the AC charging functions, it's easy. You just basically plug in the plug that comes with the manufacturer, and you can see that it is basically coming up like this. All right, so take a while. It's going to take a while for it to actually boot up. So basically, you can see that the interface is really simple. There's basically four ports. So you only have 2 buttons to select. You can basically use the scroller button to go directly to the chart, basically the ports you wanted to go, and you can just basically press the scroller button as well to enter the menu, or you can just also use the port button to do that. So you can just basically press port, and you can see that we're in C port right now. And within this page, this is the second level, right? So you can just use the port to go around. So A, B, C, D, and basically goes back to the main menu. But if you just wanted to jump ahead to the ports that you wanted to go, just use that. So it's really simple. Yeah, there's not a lot that we should be talking about. Yeah, so it's just very straightforward. All right, so once you are entering the ports, there is going to be selection. This is the second level, right? Now we wanted to enter the third level. So in order to enter the third level at here, you are going to have to press this scroller button. So in the scroller button, basically this is where you set up your basically what kind of Lipo battery type it is, and what battery cell, and what are you trying to do with the charger. So yeah, this is just a brief introduction. Now, okay, let's basically just plug in something so I can just show you how to set everything up. All right, so the first Lipo that we are actually going to be using is going to be a 6S Lipo. So this is going to be from CNHL. This is a what? Speedy Bee Pizza Pro. Yeah. Black pizza. I don't know why they wanted to do that. All right, so this is the port B, right? So port B. So a good habit is always plug in the XT60 cable first, and then you plug in the balance lead. So something I hate about this Lipo is that this balance lead is super short. So it's just something that you have to probably live with it if you wanted to get this Lipo, or you just have to get the extension. All right, so you can see that currently the Lipo, you can basically tell that this Lipo already has 6 cells put in, and this is a 6-cell Lipo, and it automatically detects each of the basically each cell and the voltage in each cell. So this is a Lipo, and what we're going to do is we are basically going to be enter into the menu. So sub menu. All right, let's basically explain a little bit on each tab so you know what it is. So battery type, you basically will be able to select basically these types of Lipos. There's a lot of them. So basically, the most common battery types that you might be running into are in the FPV hobby is going to be Lipo, Hive, basically high volt Lipos, and Lion. So for Lipo and Lion, the basic max charge current should be 4.2. Sometimes people suggest you charge Lion to max 4.19. So I don't know the difference, but yeah. So as for Hive battery, basically high volt batteries, the max charge current is going to be 4.35. This is something that you just wanted to remember. All right, so this is a Lipo battery. So we're just going to select Lipo. That's the first step you have to do. The battery cell is going to be 6S. You can see that as long as you plug in the balance lead, is automatically going to be detecting it. So there are going to be tasks that you can perform with this charger. So you have the balance charge function, you have the charge function, you have the storage function, and you have the discharge function. So balance charge function is basically a recommended function for this particular charger. When you plug in a balance lead, it's going to automatically detect the voltage from each cell, and when you're balance charging, the charger is going to balance balance each cell in order to make it like just not like you're not going to see like one cell at 4.2 and one cell at 3.8. Then you might have a problem, right? So this is the balance charge function. So if you're charging Lipos with the balance lead, always just use a balance charge. That's the thing that you should be doing. All right. As for the difference between charge is going to allow you to charge your Lipo without the balance lead plugged in. So you can just charge it, but however, because the charger right now doesn't know like each individual cell level, it's going to guess. Like it's going to guess based on your max voltage. You could use this to charge, but you might end up with a 4.3 and a 4.1 cell in the max Lipo. So that's something that you don't want. So rule number one, always just plug in a balance lead and then just use the balance charge function. Okay, so storage function is the general storage function for you to store your Lipo. So if you're in general, the Lipo storage should be around 3.8 to 3.9. So general recommendation from regular Lipo and Lion, the storage should be at 3.8. And if you wanted to go to the high volt Lipos, the general storage storage voltage should be at 3.9. So each manufacturer is a little bit different, but yeah. All right, so we're just basically going to be select balance charge for now, and just a demo to show you how the charging function works. So the condition, yeah, basically this is a Lipo, so you want it to be at 4.2. You can see that this is a preset. It has a little heart right here. So when you select Lipo, it's automatically going to select 4.2. But if you select the Hive battery, it can see that it's going to jump to 4.35. So let's select back to Lipo. And then as for the charge current, this is the default setting at 3 amps, basically. All right, so how to calculate the correct charge current is by looking at the, let me see if I can, probably have to unplug this. So the way of calculating the correct charge current is by looking at the capacity of your Lipo. So you can see that the Lipo is at 1350 milliamp. You're basically going to divide this number by 1,000, then you should be getting the correct amp to charge this. So if you wanted to charge this in 1C, you basically divide by 1,000 and you get the best charging safest should be at 1.35 amp for this particular Lipo. But if you wanted to go like a little bit faster charging, you can go to 2C. So the way of doing it is by dividing by 1,000 as well. 1.35 times 2 is going to be 2.7. Basically 2.7 is going to be our 2C charging. And if you wanted to do at 3C, basically it's the same thing divided by 1,000 times 3. That's how you just do it. But in general, the safest should be around 1C and 2C. That should be the safest like charging current. All right, so we can set this up at 2.7 and we are just basically going to hit start for it to charge. All right, so you can see that the charger is now operating right now. Let's go to the main menu. You can see that you're getting a little amp thing that is saying that it's currently trying to charge at 2.75 amp, basically trying to charge. Since now we are actually have 3 more ports available, we're just going to bring out another Lipo. Let me see if I can find one. All right, so this time we're actually using the GMB, and this is going to be the This is going to be the high volt Lipo. You can see it right here. So high volt, 4.35 volts maximum. This one, I basically flew this just now. So what we're going to do is we're going to just storage charge it. All right, so what we're going to do, plug into the A port, same drill, plug in the XT60 first, and then plug in the balance lead. Okay, so we're going to just select A, and then you're going to press this button again to reach level 3, and the battery type, you're going to just select high volt Lipo. And high volt Lipo, this time the task, we're going to be selecting storage. So condition, you can see that it automatically drops to 3.9. You will be able to put this on storage, and same drill, if you wanted to charge at 2C, basically, this is a 1,100. So you divide it by 1,000 to, it's going to be 1.1 amps. So times 2, it's going to be 2.2 amps. So this is going to be your charge current. After you select this function, there is also going to be a different function. So it's going to be the discharge current. So if your voltage currently, okay, let's go back to the previous, oops, how do you go back? Okay, so you select back right here, you go to the level 2, you can see that currently all the voltage per cell is at 3.7, so it's lower than our storage voltage. But what if your voltage is higher today? You will be able to use the discharge function to discharge. So basically this charger is going to drain the battery to like from 4.2 or 4.35 back to 3.9 as to storage it. So it's another discharge function to use. But in this case, since like our Lipo, our voltage are lower, we're just going to be charging it. So what we're going to do, we're just going to hit start. All right, so currently A is on storage and B is going to be on charge. And now let's bring out another one. Let's probably try something as a discharge. Okay, so since like this Lipo is too crowded, we're just going to be plugging in D right here. So this is the 4S Lipo. So D is right here. You can see that is 4.2, and we wanted to bring it down back to storage. Actually wanted to discharge it. So discharge, you will be able to discharge to minimum, basically you can go really low to 3 volts or 3.4, but yeah. So discharge, let's just put it on 3.4, but I kind of wanted to just use balance since I wanted to bring it back to storage. But just to let you know how this works is the discharge current, you can set it max to 2. There's just, this is going to be the max that you can do. So let's just discharge it as fast as possible, and then you're just going to hit start. Okay, so basically I'm not going to discharge this Lipo all the way back to 3.5, 3.4, because like otherwise I have to just still bring it back to balance. So, but in this case, I'm just going to stop it, and I'm just going to put it back on storage, and we can bring it to 3.8. So I don't know why this suggests on 3.85. I guess each Lipo manufacturer is different. All right, so basically that's about it for the charger. And during this charge period, you wanted to just make sure you stay with the charger and just don't leave it, because yeah, in case there are any fire hazards, you will be able to stop it right away if you're just right next to it. And a small tip that I noticed is if your Lipos, generally your Lipos, when you're charging it or you're discharging it correctly, it should not be hot. So you can just touch them. If there is a particular hot cell or something that, hey, probably something is wrong, or you're just probably charging it too much. So during the wait period, there's something I want you to know is you can always undercharge a high volt Lipo battery to 4.2 instead of 4.35, but you should never overcharge a Lipo to 4.35 because that is going to go kaboom. So just make sure you know that. Yep. Of course, so high volt batteries are still supposed to be charged to 4.35, so it's no point to undercharge it, but just let you know that for safety purpose, it should be completely okay. Okay, so basically once the charging has been completed, you can see that on A section that we are going to see a done right there. Oh, it's kind of hard to bend it. All right, so what you're going to do to stop it is you can basically press the scroller button, select A, and then press the scroller button again. The charger this particular port should stop. You will be able to just be unplugging the battery, and then we can leave it aside. So you might also ask that what if I have a smaller Lipo like an XT30 cable that doesn't fit this kind of plug? This is an XT60. This is way too small. So don't worry, all you need is to just getting a converter. So you can have an XT30 converter to an XT60. So basically you can get this on Amazon, you can get these on the Hitec website. So yeah, just basically the purpose is to just like transfer the smaller cable to a bigger cable. So you can see that this is how it works. So the rest is going to be exactly the same. You plug in this end and plug in that end, and that's it. Okay, so also one thing we forgot to mention is this charger basically will allow you to charge from 1S to 6S. So 1S to 6S. So basically just the maximum balance plug you can get in. So 1S probably you won't have any balance plug. I just don't see a lot of one, since like you only have one cell. Like what do you need a balance plug? So, and another thing is 1S there's not a lot of XT60 1S plugs that you can probably find on the market. So if you are looking into charging 1S batteries, the best charger is still going to be the Wi-Fi Oopster 3. So if you wanted to see the review of this one, the links are going to be down below. So 1S is going to be different charger, like generally the 1S charging like mentality is going to be different from 2S or above. So yeah, if you wanted to charge 1S, the Oopster 3 is still going to be the best choice as the current market. Okay, so back to the Hitec charger. So basically, the best use of this one is still going to be from 2S to 6S in my opinion, because like, yeah, when you have smaller 1S Lipos, this is going to be a little bit overkill for it. So right now, most of the hobby-wise, everything is going to be from 2S to 6S, and you should be good enough. Like basically, that should cover most of your stuff, unless you wanted to go to AS drones, but which I don't see a current trend that the entire FPV community is moving to. Something that are just my personal thoughts about it. Okay, so the charge has now been completed for our Lipo. So the balance charge, now everything is at 4.2. So one is at 4.19, but it should be fine. A good thing about these smart charger is once the max voltage reaches the designated area, designated setting parameters, is basically just going to stop itself. So you're not going to overcharge these Lipo if you set up it correctly, and that's a very important safety functions, because normally most of the cases of Lipo issues are going to be overcharging, or something happens to the balance lead that the charger thought it is a 5S but instead it's a 6S. Then obviously you're going to have something wrong with the 1S that is not detected. So this is something that you should pay attention to, that if you're choosing a charger, at least choose something that is going to stop itself, and it has some safety functions that if it detects anything, it's going to beep on you, because sometimes we do forget stuff. All right, so basically same drill. We're just basically going to be pressing the scroller button to stop the charger, and then we can remove it. Okay, so as for the D, I'm just going to stop it because it's going to take too long, and since like it's about it, so 3.9, I think it's good enough for now. I'm just going to unplug it. Okay, so we're basically done with the general functions of the charger. So now let's talk about something I found really special. You can see that there is a Bluetooth link right here, which means this can be connected using your cell phone. So basically you can have an app to control this charger. All right, so basically we're just going to be downloading the app, and I can show you how to use it. All right, so just to give a quick demo to the Bluetooth function is Hitec basically has an application for you to use to control your charger. So you're going to have to bring out your another phone. You can use an iPhone, you can use a Android phone, it doesn't matter. So what you have to do is you're basically going to go to the Play Store or your iOS, like basically iOS store. You're going to have to download the Hitec Link Power X app, and once you have it, just basically open it. So what you're going to have to do is, obviously if this is the first time you're using it, you're going to have to press scan, and basically the device, if it's powered on, it's going to be showing up right here. So what you have to do, just basically click on it, and then after a few seconds, it's basically going to be entering this page. So at this page, you can basically see that it's giving you the option to set up the channel A, B, C, and D. You do have programs, but this one, there just doesn't seem to have much stuff here. So you could, I think program is basically, you can basically come in here and you can set up them as presets just so you can use them in the future, but it's not really a helpful system. So system is basically you get to come in here, you can set up if it wants to be lower, higher, that sort of thing, and if you need to update your firmware. So if you need to update your firmware, basically this is where you should do it. And then info, same thing. If you needed to check on your batteries, basically this is going to be a kind of like a summary page that you can check. So just for us to have some reference, let's basically plug in some Lipo. So we're going to plug in this Lipo. This is going to be a 4S Lipo. Let's plug into the B port. Okay, so you can see right now that A obviously has nothing. Let's go to B. Load for a second. You can see that basically it is showing you the basically summary of what the battery has. So basically you can see the battery voltage and the battery resistance. So this is kind of like a place that you just see there's nothing here. The next thing is you basically will be able to control the charger using this cell phone app. Basically at the cell phone, it's not going to detect how many cell this Lipo is, where is it going to be Lipo, or is it going to be high volt battery. So you have to set up everything manually, so make sure you set everything up correctly. So for this one, this is a Lipo, and this is a 4-cell battery, so battery cell 4. And what we're going to do is we are going to try to storage charge, or you can just do whatever you like, but storage charge, for example. So, and then the next thing is you can set up whatever charge current you want. Same drill. Basically, this is a 2200 mAh Lipo, so we are going to set it to 2.2 for 1C. And since like it's not going to be discharging, we can leave discharge as is. And then we hit start. You can see that the charger is actually activating. So I don't know why is it taking a while. All right, so once the channel is in charging, it's going to basically come into this section. All right, so if we go to A, it basically goes back to another section that you can set everything up again. Same goes to another channel, but if you click the B, it's going to basically bring you to this page. During the process, if you need to stop charging, you can basically just hit stop right here. So it's not a bad thing that you can basically use this app to control the charger. So since this has to require us to set everything up, let's basically try to see if we can trick the charger to do something different. So you can see currently we have the Lipo plug-in in channel B, right? So if we switch the Lipo to battery cell only 2 cells, let's see if it actually going to let us do it, because if that's the case, it might be something not safe. Okay, let's just leave every current right here to see if it actually activates. You can see that it actually beeps. Okay, so this is a very good thing that it's actually going to stop the charging, so you know that something is wrong. This is the security function that you will want, because if it's letting you do it, then this app you shouldn't be using it. But this is very good to see that we're actually doing this. All right, so basically let's unplug the Lipo, and since we have newer firmwares, why not we just update it just so you can see how it was done. All right, so firmware updates, you are basically going to go to the system, you are going to click the firmware update, and you're going to say new firmware available, update, confirm. All right, so theoretically this should actually make the charger go better, but I don't know. Alright, so the firmware has been updated successfully, so I don't know if we can actually spot any difference. Okay, so now it has been updated. Let's see if there's going to be any difference. Okay, so I don't know if there's going to be actually any much difference after the firmware has been updated. I think just probably safety functions or whatever. So battery type, Lipo. So basically, I guess that's about it. But anyway, at least we know that currently, at least this is on the newest firmware. And if you need to update the firmware, this is where what you should be doing. Connect a phone and basically use the phone to update it. It's probably going to be the easiest method. Okay. All right, so basically that's about it for this short tutorial. And at the end of the video, like, who should be getting this charger? So I would say if you're a person that absolutely hates parallel charging, then this one probably is going to be your best option because it does charge 4 Lipos at the same time. So if you wanted to check out the Hitec RDX4 charger, links are going to be down below. And any questions or comments, please feel free to leave it down below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.